You are listening to I'm ready to talk now. You know what I just noticed? I have never formally introduced myself on any of my podcasts, ever. Why would I not do that? Well, my name is Jamil Miles. Jesus Christ. That is really unprofessional. It's only episode 3. Oh, man. So now you guys know. Great. And, yeah, welcome back to the show. I'm really excited because it's been 13 years and I don't really know my demographic. All 5 of my followers. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if you listen to a band called Tool, but they are finally putting out an album, and it's due out August 30th of 2019. It's been 13 years, and you know, as fans, we've been waiting, and yeah, some have been very, very impatient, but you know, others have been listening to other things and doing other shit and living our lives like you're supposed to. And yeah, it's finally out. But the problem is, like it was in 2001 and in 2006, the album was leaked a week early to its release. And obviously that's not fair. That shit is not cool. And I think all it took was some dipshit who works at, I think, like an Amazon factory, just yoinked that fucking CD and obviously took it home and uploaded that bitch to the interwebs. And yeah, so people got the CD version, not the MP3 version that has 10 tracks. The CD version has 7. And yeah, just uploaded that onto the web, and there you go. Of course, I'm pretty sure that the band's not happy, but they knew that was going to happen, and you know, what are you going to do? It's been going on for way too long. You know, that's called pirating. So, but you know, I'm excited about the album still. That doesn't ruin it, and yeah, it is what it is. But that's not what I'm about to talk about. I guess pirating is on the table today, and at least for this segment. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know who is, this also applies to. I don't know who out of my 5 followers who was born in the 80s, but I was born in 83. I am 36 now. So I grew up in the 90s. In the 90s, as a child, it was very good to me. So much crazy, radical, just the dopest artistry came out of the 90s for me. And I don't know what it was like for you guys, but you know, parental advisory, you know, explicit records, you know, were a big deal in my household for the most part. I grew up on, you know, funk and jazz, like all my dad's LPs and all that stuff. But of course, you know, I'm a kid. I'm a hip hop kid. So, you know, there's a lot of hip hop that just had explicit lyrics. And my parents would not purchase any of those albums for me at all. So I don't know what pirating explicit hip hop albums were for you. But for me, it was the hardest shit to do. It was so goddamn difficult to do this. And I know, like, nowadays, you know, it's so easy to pirate, you know, stuff. It's just, you know, clicks, and you know, you can just find it online and blah blah blah. But pirating music in the early 90s was really hard for a 10-year-old boy. You know, well, that's until Napster and Friends reared its ugly head with just a few couple clicks and proceeded to choke the fucking life out of the music industry, all right? So, I'm going to tell you a little story, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I pirated music. Meaning, and not so much as like what it is today. It's nowhere near close to what it is today, but we just handed stuff to our friends and, hey, check this out, listen to this, this is what I got from my older brother or from my cousin, and this is what we're listening to, and yada yada yada. Sometimes people got the newest shit, you know, like the new stuff, and you would want to take it home and say, hey, listen, I'll bring it right back, I'm just gonna record it and then I'll bring it back to you. For the most part, you're not getting that shit back. So that had to stop, because people were just taking other people's shit home and then forgetting about it, or they have amnesia, and you see them the next day on the bus and they're like, you never gave me an album. Yes, you did. I gave you Wu-Tang's album and I want my shit back. Wu-Tang forever. And they would deny it. So that had to stop, right? This is my story on how I used to pirate music. Find yourself a like-minded, friend, a classmate that has a boombox, jam box. I called mine a jam box. Call them up and ask if they bought Doggy Style. All right? Set up a meeting during, the lunch period for the hours of, 3:45 to, 5:30 p.m. because the parents don't come home till about 5:45, 6. So once all that's taken care of, that's all been established, bell rings, you go home, you go grab your gear, all right, you pack all that shit up, you get to walking, all right? Bring over, or the things that you need are your jam box and one blank cassette tape. That's all you needed. That's it, all right? Your noble friend will supply the rest. They always did. So once you arrive at the crib, hanging out, you show up, you're just talking for like a moment, and you're like, yo, how's the album sound? They always reply back with, yo, the shit's dope, it's quality shit, right? So getting excited, you both go into his room, plug in the jam box, you both insert tapes, push both jam boxes together, speaker to speaker, or else the shit ain't gonna work. Speaker to speaker. You gotta do the audio level check first. All right, that's how you just had to. All right, you've burned yourself too many times. Do the quick audio check. Play it for about 30 seconds. Get a nice level. Make sure everything's good. Boom. Once everything is good to go, you both look at one another, and you go. Shh. Shut the fuck up. I'm about to record. Okay. Here we go. I hit deuces. He hits play. We both walk out the bedroom, shutting the door as quietly as possible. We end up in the kitchen, you're in there in the kitchen chopping it up with them, eating fucking pizza bites until side A is done. Once side A is done, you both entered the room and you got to do a check. So you got to check and make sure that side A recorded the very last song. Once you do that, you're making sure that it didn't cut off. And what happens? Fuck. It cut off, right? So you missed the last remaining minute of side A. What do? You switch that fucker over, switch your blank tape over to side B to record the last song of side A. All right? Mind you, you got to wait in the room now. It's only, 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes. So you just have to wait in the room. You and your buddy just waiting there, and you're desperately trying not to cough, sneeze, fart, basically laugh, but there's always the friend that's going to want to make you laugh and ruin your goddamn take. So he's wanting to hump the side or the edge of his fucking bed as he's staring at his poster of like Aaliyah and TLC and, you know, stuff like that. And of course you can't help but laugh, but you're trying. You have your hand over your mouth and you're just trying not to fuck up this take. So once that's done, you know, it's all clear. You flip over doggy style to side B, pun intended, to record the last 30 minutes. All right? You have to re-enter the kitchen, talk about the dumb shit you were talking about before until side B is completed. Once it's done, you do the check again. You make sure that side B is all good. Once it's all clear, you know, y'all talk, you know, give each other daps. Cool. You're packing up all your shit. And basically, you need to get the fuck out of there as quickly as possible because now it's probably like 5:35 or something like that. And you know that his parents are coming home. His parents don't want black people in the house. And I always have to keep that in mind. I grew up in the suburbs for the most part. And yeah, as my brother puts it, we were cul-de-sac niggas. So we had to get out of our friends' houses whenever the parents weren't there for the most part. So as you're walking down the street, you know, you got your tape in your Walkman, this brand new doggy style record in your fucking Walkman, and you're listening to something that you just recorded. All right. Now, you think that it's done, right? It's not done. You're not done yet. You're almost there. You're really close. You got to get home before your parents or your siblings come home, something. Because when you get home, you need to pop that tape back in the deck, back in your jam box, and you need to record over the last song that was cut off. You need to put dead air on side A. You have to do that. All right? Once that's done, boom, you got yourself a fucking tape. You got yourself a Snoop Dogg tape. Now you have yourself a free fuck you mom and dad copy of Doggy Style from 93. Basically. Yeah. And that's what we did. It's exactly what I did. It makes you proud, you know? And you hold on to all of that until CDs arrive, and then you act like that shit never happened. So, yeah, there you go. That's what we did. I hope you enjoyed it. Doggy style. I sometimes, not often, but when I do, I just chill on the couch and I just, with the TV off, and I just drift off and think about shit. And sometimes my childhood pops up and I think about like the dumb shit that I did, the things that I could have done that would have landed me somewhere else. I think about all kinds of shit. And I just think about, like, you know, the youth, how generations, you know, like, change with kids. You know, like, there aren't many kids in this generation that grew up like me. So, but there's still, there's some similarities there, and there's some things that haven't changed whatsoever. Why I bring this up is because, you know, there was a mystery that my partner and I have been trying to solve, and it's the trash mystery in our alley. In our alley, you know, homeless people do come by with their little shopping carts, and we can hear them, and they shuffle around and shit, you know, but it's, you know, it's nothing crazy, you know, at the moment. Anyway, my partner and I were trying to figure out this mystery, and we're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, who keeps leaving trash in our alley? And this is like food trash. This is like, you know, fast food stuff like Jack in the Box and Burger King, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, it was a Del Taco shit that's just hanging about. And Chick-fil-A would show up every now and again. I'm like, the fuck is going on? And first thing that came to my mind is like, okay, this is ridiculous. Homeless people don't eat fucking Chick-fil-A. I could be super insensitive or just ignorant. Let's just say ignorant. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say homeless people don't fucking ask for money and then go to Chick-fil-A and like burn all their fucking cash. Even if you give them $2, they can't afford shit at Chick-fil-A. So I'm trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. And so the past, several months, there's this girl who lives like 4 houses up the street, and she always gets picked up and dropped off in our alley. Not in front of her house, not in her driveway, and she looks like she's maybe like in high school. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, what the fuck is this all about? And obviously, parents probably don't want her hanging out with these individuals, So we've been there, we've been kids. So there's a guy that picks her up who's in a Prius, and then there is a woman, a little girl, who picks her up who's in this Dodge Charger. The engine is fucking gorgeous. It sounds amazing. My goodness. But that's not the point. The point is that these are the people that pick her up and drop her off. Well, the Prius dude, I'm not worried about him. I think he's just trying to get some pussy. Hey, do your thing, man. Whatever. Have at it. Be fucking safe. So, the girl in the Charger, she has been the one dropping off trash in our fucking alley. I have been washing dishes, and I've seen this vehicle, but I guess I just didn't like see it, like I couldn't see it, and then I finally saw it. And when I wash dishes, I always have like the window open, the blinds are open, yada yada yada, and I'm literally watching this girl like dumping off like a third of a fucking burrito. There's like makeup wipes on the ground. There was 2 like coffee size cups full of whatever liquid, fill in the blank, and she's just dropping off, and her friend comes up to the door, to her car door, passenger side door, and like throws out a fucking napkin. And I'm like, the fuck is going on? Why are you doing this? And I'm kind of like conflicted. I'm like, should I just bang on a window and say something, or what should I do? Meanwhile, my partner is asleep. She's knocked the fuck out, so she's not hearing or seeing any of this. So I'm trying to figure out like what's the best action, like what should I do? So they get in the car and they fucking go. All right. I wake up my partner and I'm like, hey, or no, she just wakes up randomly, and I'm like, hey, listen, I finally figured out who's been dropping off all this fucking trash in the alley. And I tell her who it is. She's like, okay. And I'm like, we need to have a conversation with them. All right. I guess this is what you do now when you're in your fucking mid-30s. You just want to have a conversation with people about the environment. I don't know. I guess I skipped that in my 20s, the clipboard scene and all that stuff. So she agrees, and I predicted that they would be back in a few hours. Hey, they came back in a few fucking hours. How did I know that? I don't know. So they show up. My partner ends up going back to sleep. I'm like, well, god damn it. All right, cool. So they come back because again, I hear the engine, and I'm like, that fucking engine, damn, it's fucking sexy. But that's not the point. The point is that I need to have a conversation with this fucking girl. So I wake my partner up. I'm like, yo, listen, they're back. Hey, let's go have a conversation with them. She's all groggy and she's put on clothes. And so before we go out there, we honestly say again, I think we mentioned it beforehand, that, hey, listen, she suggested, hey, let me talk, let me speak first, let me introduce myself first, because
white bitches.
Am I right? So I let her, go out there. We both go out there, and she knocks on a window, and just woke up. So she put on some clothes. She still has glitter on her body from a show that she did the night before, and so she looks like she just walked out of a fucking, I don't know, Burning Man installation or some shit. and the girl rolls down her window. She's like, "Hi." And she's like, my partner says, "Hey, hi, my name is, and listen, can you please not throw garbage in our alley, please? The city doesn't pick this up. We do. We have to pick this up. The city doesn't come by and pick up trash on the ground." So the girl's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do it. I don't know what you mean." And she's like, "Well, can you please not do that?" And she's like, "Okay." And I'm watching her eyes, and her eyes are like, "Fuck, I've been made. Shit. I'm trying to figure out the next thing I need to say. How do I get around this?" And then finally she just like, kind of like, stiffens up and, says, "I didn't do that. So I don't know what you're talking about." And I look at her and I say, "Yes, you did. I've been watching you through the window. I was washing dishes and I watched you dump out all of this that's on the ground currently right now. I watched you do that." And her eyes went from like squinty to open to like, "Oh fuck," to, "All right." And I said, "Is that okay with you? If you could stop doing that, please. Is that all right?" And I'm saying it like multiple times because I think I am trying to annoy her. And she goes, "Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Fine. Yes. Okay, cool. Yeah. Right. Got it. So she obviously gave herself away. And then we go inside, grab the broom and dustbin, and my partner grabs gloves, and we're picking all this stuff up in front of her so she knows. That's why we left it out there. Like, I was telling my partner that it's okay for us to leave it out there. Let's not pick it up. Let's leave it out there so we can confront her, and it's there because you can't deny what you've already seen. You just can't. So it's there, and you know that you did it. So we pick it all up, and then her friend ends up showing up, and then they take off. Pretty sure they talk mad shit about us too, but that's okay. That's quite all right. You can talk as much shit as you want to. My babe and I are trying to save the alley one day at a time, guys. Okay, this is what we do. We just want to save the alley. Our fear is that because this is a kid, this is a entitled fucking girl who has an amazing car that she doesn't deserve, that I'm pretty sure that Papa or someone bought it for her, that she might retaliate in some weird way because she wants to be cool and she wants to keep that status up that she's a rebel because she throws out trash and she has a really cool car. I know I keep mentioning that, but that's not the point. Halloween's around the corner, so we're not trying to play that shit, and so we're gonna keep a lookout for that. And I just don't want her to try and be all tough and try and save her family name or something, in honor of her family name, that I must do this deed because I'm a Wilson or some shit, and this is how we roll. Her friend might egg her on. She might try to impress her friend or some shit. I don't know. But anyway, I'm from Texas. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. But yeah, we really, really enjoy guns. I'm just joking about the guns part. I'm just playing. Or am I just playing? We'll never know. Anyway, so thanks guys for hanging out. Thank you very much. And I've mentioned this before. I stutter. I'm a stammerer. That whole thing. And this is just a way for me to get things out. I know I'm not speaking to you face to face, but I am putting a microphone to my mouth, and I am trying to do my best to speak as clearly as possible, and also use my weird little brain to create this podcast of mine. So thank you guys very much, and as always, I like to leave off with some music. And there's a good friend of mine back at home. He lives in San Antonio, Texas. His name is Benjamin Crowley. Does amazing. he's a visual artist, and he's also a great musician. And his name of this band is called Brainwave, two V's in wave. I'm gonna play a song. It's called Human Behavior, and yeah, it's off of his record called Transpose Elevation. You can find Ben on any social media outlet. You can buy his albums on Bandcamp. So check him out. He's on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Get on Bandcamp, check him out. But he also distributes cassette tapes. So awesome times. Thank you guys, and I guess I will be seeing you guys probably 6 months from now because these things take forever. All right, later.